JURRIEN Timber is in the final stages of his move to Manchester United. It is being reported tonight as Ajax and the Manchester club are in deep conversations about bringing the very exciting young centre-back to the Premier League. It's been reported by a number of journalists, some of which we've had the pleasure of speaking to this evening, that have confirmed that these conversations are advanced and that Ajax are willing, of course, at the right price to sell the centre-back. In terms of the player, it's long been since reported and confirmed again tonight that personal terms will not be an issue. He's happy with what Manchester United are offering and is very much excited about being part of the revolution at Old Trafford under Erik ten Hag. Of course, he's former manager at Ajax, formerly only of a few weeks ago. Now, it has been said that there's a difference in the price at the moment between what Man United are offering and what Ajax want of around about £4 to £5 million. But I've seen at least 3 journalists confirm this today. I've reached out to the crew of journalists that we have on the football terrace, and they have all confirmed that these stories are true, that it is thought that this will be Erik ten Hag's first signing as Manchester United manager. I want to get your thoughts and feelings on this, as this deal looks like it's progressed to a point where he could become the first new signing under what all Man United fans hope for will be a positive and a positive and fruitful appointment for the first time since Sir Alex Ferguson getting things right. Now, I want your take, I want your thoughts, and I want your feelings, but do me a favor first and smash that like button for this evening edition of the Done Deal Show. Good evening, welcome back to the Terrace. And look, Man United fans are starting to get excited over this deal. It feels as though a breakthrough has been made again this evening, another milestone after a number of reports in the last 24 hours that have emerged. One of the first, of course, speaking on TalkSport earlier on today, a claim that I'm absolutely convinced that Timber will join Manchester United with Ten Hag this summer. And this has led to a lot of tongues being wagged. And of course, there have been times, just like with Frankie de Jong, where Timber has been questioned about his future, where he's kind of answered that he, essentially, paraphrasing here, but happy where he is, loves Ajax, would be open to a move away, but loves where he is and what he's doing. This has been today reported as being essentially a little bit of political talk from him, keeping the Ajax faithful happy, not disrespecting the club that he currently plays for, without 100% distancing himself from a move away. I had a conversation earlier on this evening with a couple of journalists that we're familiar with on the terrace, a few that we speak to behind the scenes, just kind of talking through stories. And if I'm being honest with you, that's how a lot of them tell me they get a lot of their stories confirmed, is talking to one another about said deals. And what it is that we were told, it's very simple. It's a very simple breakdown. There isn't anything overly complicated about it. It isn't something that's sort of overly groundbreaking either. And this was the message that I was sent, and I will read it to you word for word. It says, I'll read the first bit. Evening, Terry, hope that you are well. You are right. It's been widely reported that Manchester United and Ajax are in deep conversations over Timber. I can confirm that my sources say this is true. Timber is happy with what Manchester United have offered, and personal terms will be no issue. He says Ajax are happy to sanction the deal for the right price. The clubs are currently sitting somewhere between £4 to £5 million apart. Timber could very well be Erik ten Hag's first Manchester United player, of course, meaning that could be the first player that he goes out and he signs. Now, for me, reading that, again, I have made myself a promise this year as a Manchester United fan that I won't get myself overly excited or, oh my God, we're going to be amazing next year, we're back, or anything along those lines. But in terms of JURRIEN Timber, very talented, very well respected, and something that I think Man United need: technical ability at the back, good defensive awareness, and some more athleticism. Football is evolving and football is changing. And I say this with absolute respect to somebody like a Harry Maguire. It's become a little bit of a dinosaur, and very, very quickly with the speed and the fitness levels of the game. Manchester United need more of that. Of course, Rafael Varane provides it. But when you look at a team like Liverpool with Konate, Matip, and the brilliant Virgil van Dijk, it's very hard to break them down and beat them. They can play a higher line, meaning they can be more expansive in their attack. Knowing that even players knocking the ball on and running in behind, you have that speed and that athleticism to catch up. And that's something that Manchester United are looking to address here. On top of that, Erik ten Hag wants people that he's familiar with, wants one or two individuals through the door that he knows will play football his way, that will adapt and buy into what he's doing and bring some of his new teammates along with him. It's a deal that I'm very, very excited about. Deep down inside, no claims or crazy claims that we're back. There's a lot of work for Manchester United to do. But the most important thing that's probably making me more excited than anything else, of course, De Jong talks are happening. Darwin Núñez deal is reported as being close by many, many mainstream media outlets. And on top of that, you've got the Ruben Neves talks. We're going to have Rob Blanchett on the show tomorrow to go through his claims in more detail. So make sure you're tuning in to TFT tomorrow. But the bit I'm most impressed with, the bit that stands out to me, that makes me happiest as a Manchester United fan, is very much the element surrounding speed. Speed, speed, speed. We've had Ben Jacobs tell us this, Dean Jones tell us this. I'm sure Rob's going to say the same thing tomorrow. Ten Hag wants the vast majority of these players in before pre-season. He wants them in and integrated. He doesn't want a prolonged, drawn-out transfer saga. He wants those players through the door. Now, if Man United are not successful with their next attempt to get De Jong, I would like to see them move on. They've acted very, very swiftly with Jurrien Timber. Of course, his representation was in the UK last week at the Manchester United's offices in London, going through, talking about and negotiating the personal element. That is typically, as we know, the way that the processes work. Player agreement first, then you move on to the football club. In terms of Ajax and in terms of what they do, Manchester United and Ajax have a very good relationship for so many reasons. One, the clubs have had a deep and long history and strong relationship over the years, both juggernauts and giants of European football. But of course, the Van der Sar connection and the Erik ten Hag connection makes these negotiations a little bit easier. And the fact that it's reported that Ajax are they're happy, they are on a point where they're happy to sanction it. Of course, for the right money, they need to bring their money in so they can reinvest it in the right ways in their club. Man United fans should start to feel an element of relaxation regarding this deal. There doesn't appear to be any snags on the horizon. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It is very unlikely that this deal falls through or stops. And one more thing that stands out before I go to some of your comments. First, make sure you're also hitting that like button as well, people, is the thing that really stands out, not just the speed, but it's also the fact that Pau Torres is on the list. And it's been fairly well reported that Man United would sign either of the two. The Man United recruitment team wanted Pau Torres, where Ten Hag wants Timber. If Timber is signed and Ten Hag is being listened to, that does not, it doesn't mean that, again, that United are running in an impeccable way and we're back to the best that we could possibly be. But it means we've taken one step of many, many, many needed to go back in the right direction. I'll still be demanding more, but of course, I'll be happy that we're doing the right thing. Now, I want to go to some of your comments here and see what you're saying here. What? All right, okay. I can't believe we are starting training this month. Yeah, listen, I think it'll be, do you know what's really crazy? I swear the players, like the transfer window opens very soon. I think you've got, when the Nation League finishes, a few days after that, the Premier League will announce its fixtures. The players typically have about, 3 to 4 weeks off. So come the third week, about the third week of June, which isn't that far away, the players start to return, and that's when things really start to build up and the excitement will build. Get McSauce and Maguire out now is what Adam's got to say here. And I can understand that view. I understand why a lot of people want them out. And listen, if we can improve the quality of our team, you're not going to see me complain. Have already established the system that can influence and educate others. I want to know what you mean by that, Sharik, my guy. Terry, Jules Koundé. Look, Jules Koundé, we had a big update from Ben Jacobs on that yesterday. That deal is pretty much done. That deal is pretty much dusted. He's expected to be the first new signing in the Todd Bowley era. Yes, Terry, thanks for keeping us updated on the news and goings on. Hope we seal the deal. Timber would be a great first signing. And I think a lot of people agree with you on that. I think a lot of people agree that it would be an excellent first deal. No doubts about that whatsoever. I think a lot of people would tend to agree. Terry, does this mean the end of Maguire? Jailing Sam, long time no see. I think what's interesting about Maguire, when you read and consume the reports, what's been stated is that he's placing the team and his captaincy are under threat. If he has the captaincy taken away, I can't even see how we keep him at the club. But what I would say about that statement is that every single player's position in the team should be under threat. I keep seeing talk. I want rid of talk of this. Oh, we can't sign Joe Bloggs in case it gets in John Smith's way. It's nonsense. You know, Timber coming in, everybody's position should be under threat. If Maguire turns his form around and starts playing really, really well, and it's Varane who's struggling, his position should be under threat. I understand why we'd focus on Maguire and why we'd focus on the players that we don't think are good enough, but I want that to be a train of thought running through every single player's mind that unless they are brilliant, unless they are at their best at every single given moment, they can be taken out of this team. I think that's the way that it simply has to be. Timber and Koundé are very similar, is what OSA has got to say here. Training will start early as Ten Hag wants to put the so Man United's training is a little bit early. I think he said he wants them back very, very soon, really. You know, give them 3 or 4 weeks off. That pre-season is going to be important because this Man United team is unfit. This Manchester United team is not in the best of shape. And I'm hoping those players are not just training during the off-season. I'm hoping they are absolutely putting themselves through hell, because that's what I think Ten Hag's going to do to them. I really, really do. He's going to make them run very, very hard. JURRIEN Timberlake, when Maguire gets arrested again, what goes around comes around. Okay. Fair enough. Big up to yourself as well. Bubblicious. Hope you are good. That bubble gum that you got as your emoji, I remember that. That was nice bubble gum, you know. We used to get that in the shop. I swear it was like 2p for like the big one. It was good. This is a football channel. Nobody cares about Johnny Depp. Obviously, I tweeted about Johnny Depp earlier, but yeah, we're not speaking about that on the terrace. It's not really the time, nor the place, or the platform for it. David here says, I think United can easily have 250 million to spend this summer, selling Hendo, Bailly, Telles, AWB, Martial, and maybe 1 or 2 more. Timber, Pau Torres, Neves, Sagar, and Nunez would be happy with that. Look, me and Jeff were bantering each other earlier, but of course Man United can make sales this summer. This kind of weird notion that's floating around that Man United are not going to be able to sign players, I don't really understand it. I don't really know where it's come from. I don't really understand it. United will be able to raise between 50 to 80 million pounds through player sales. There's already talk of there being between 130 and 150 already to spend. You add the sales to it, 200 odd million, 4 or 5 players will come in. Might be a few freebies in there as well. There we go. Terry showing his age with the bubble gum. Yeah, listen, everyone knows how old I am, that my friend. Everyone knows how old I am. I mean, okay, I don't know what that comment says. There, Daily Blind said he is a control freak. Good. That's what Man United need. But remember, none of that is a problem as long as he's given power by the football club. The only time that goes wrong is if the club remove that power and a club don't enable him to operate correctly. That is the only way that goes wrong. It is. But listen, it's a very short and impromptu stream from us tonight. We're back tomorrow on the terrace with more. We've got ranking shows for PFA Young Player and PFA Player of the Year to come this week. Another episode of the Top 6 show. We've got the Done Deal live tomorrow with Rob Blanchett, so make sure you are tuning in. Before you all go, though, make sure you've smashed that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.